Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Westside MMA here, and we got our second episode or third episode, whatever you want to call it. They had the intro, then I had the first episode, which was how to create a fighter / how to sign a free agent, and now this is the third episode, I guess you could say, of my MMA Tycoon series. If you haven't yet joined, please click the link in the description and join. This game is addicting if you are into MMA and like to kind of manage fighters and see how it goes. I mean, it's not a video game, so if you're not patient and you don't, if you're not into this sort of thing and reading, because you have to read your fights when the fights come out, you have to actually read what happens. It's not a video game or a video or anything. Animation. But yeah, it's still, I don't know why it's so fun, but it's the most addicting thing there is. It's kind of like fantasy, it's like fantasy pretty much. Okay. So this episode is how to train your fighters successfully, and then a little bit of information about gyms, how they work, and supplements. So, first things first, to get to your gym, there's two ways. You can either go to the gym by going to High Street, clicking on your gym, which mine's right here, and then it brings up all your fighters, or you could just go to click on one of your fighters that's in that gym, go down, and then the gym's right here under training, click on the gym, and then I should mention, make sure that your training intensity is full-time. Part-time, you train, I think, three times a week, I believe, and then the other time you're working, and then no training is you're working, which means you're making money but you're not training. So if your fighter needs money or whatever, which is not, I mean, it's really, if you're not training, you got problems. You're just losing time and yeah. So make sure it's always on full time. So you go to your gym. So every gym, this is the information of the gym, how much it costs per week, the cleanliness, which is pristine, which if your gym is not pristine, then the owner needs to do something, because that's the highest level of cleanliness. And then equipment condition, there's brand new, and then there's excellent is the next one down. If your gym equipment is not at brand new or excellent, your gym owner needs to replace it. Capacity, blah blah blah, number of coaches. This part right here is important. Fighters per coach, 3.46. I think you want to keep this number at least under 5. I try to keep it under 4, which is really good. Because when you train, I'll get into that in a minute, but yeah. Sauna. If your gym doesn't have a sauna, that kind of sucks. It's only $1,000 to put it in, so there's no point in not having one. But when your fighter cuts weight, anything over 10 pounds or 10 pounds or over, your guy's going to need to use a sauna. So if your gym doesn't have a sauna and you're like 11, 12 pounds over, you're not going to make weight. And if you do make weight for some reason, your guy's going to be totally drained or whatever and not going to have enough energy to successfully fight. And then this is just other stuff, nutrition partner, blah, blah, blah. So these are the list of all the coaches, and then the number next to it, which you can only see if you're VIP, I believe, is how many fighters are training in that session. So when it comes to all these categories like these up here, which are with a coach, you want the lowest number possible, because that's how many people are. So right now, like punch technique, there's 2 people, training punch technique. If you can train one-on-one with the coach, you're going to get the most. You're going to get the most out of it, because it's pretty much the coach has to divide the time in between each fighter. So if there's like defensive grappling, there's 4 fighters. Usually 4 is the most I want to go. I won't go more than 4. But each fighter, takes like 100. I mean, it's divided into 4 people. So instead of getting 100% of the training, you're getting 25 or whatever. Right, 20, yeah, or whatever it is. So on and so forth with that. And then sparring, on the other hand, sparring is pretty much training with each other, obviously. So you want more fighters. So I usually train I spar on Tuesday AM and Friday AM for my fighters. So you see 11 people are training here, 8 people are training here, 3. When it comes to weights, so that's just for sparring. For cardio and weights and yoga, it doesn't matter how many people there are. It's a solo training session, so you're going to get the same amount of training whether there's 1 or there's 50. So, but just to go over everything real quickly, these are kind of self-explanatory. These sparring improves your primary, so I'll show you real quick. These numbers right here are your well, I'll show you right here. These 4 are your primary attributes. These are your, I guess, secondary, and then these are your physical. So when it comes to training, these are self-explanatory. These, the sparring ones improve your primaries, and then yoga, weights, and cardio improves your conditioning. Weights improves your strength, and yoga increases your flexibility and balance. Even though there's also another thing right here, which is circuit training, which is just balance. So yoga mostly does flexibility, but it does balance too, because that just makes sense. So yeah. I think that's about it. Let me see what else is there. When you first start training your fighter, so I'll go down to the bottom to the guy I just made in that last video. You first start them off at 110, which is the most you can put on your fighter for your cardio, your conditioning. How the numbers work is it goes from 0 to 150, which is in this is 0 to 150 is 1 to 10 or 1 to 15. So 115 or 115. God, I can't talk. 15 equals 150. So how it works is like 110 to 119 is 12. 120 to 129 is 13. It's a little confusing, but it makes sense. So yeah, you train besides your 2 sparring sessions or however many times you want to spar a week, you do those. The rest of the time is going to be cardio until your cardio is about 13 or 14. Usually 13 I stop, because over time you're with a young guy that's 18, your cardio or your conditioning automatically goes up while you're training other, like agility. When you train agility and speed, your conditioning is going to go up anyway. That's just what I've experienced. And then once you get your conditioning up to 13, you train your strength next. That's what I always do. I mean, you don't have to, but to me that makes the most sense. So I do weights. And then after weights, you do agility, speed, and flexibility and all that crap. Until you get all these numbers, your physical attributes, balance can be whatever, usually balance 10 or above. Strength, I like to get up to 12 or 13. Speed, 12, 13. Flexibility doesn't really matter that much. 9 or 10 is fine. Agility, 12 or 13. And then you start working on these and these. So next, we're going to talk about supplements. So what supplements are, to get supplements, you can either get them through your vending machine. So the nutrition partner we have for our gym, or my gym, is Alpha Male Nutrition Supplements. So if you go to High Street, you go down to nutrition for your so you got all these different places. So for just Las Vegas, these are the nutrition companies. Okay. So this is our nutrition company, which is based in, I think, New York, which means when I buy the supplements, if I were to just buy them right here, it would take a few days to get to my fighters. But since they're in my vending machine, if I go down here and click vending, check vending, and then update, it automatically will buy whatever I need, which I don't ever do because you don't really know. I mean, you don't. It kind of does it automatically, and you don't really know what you're doing. So what I do is I have all my fighters with supplements that I've bought myself, I guess you could say. But when you do get supplements, you can either buy them for yourself, which is using your manager's money or your money, straight from the manager, or you could buy them for specific fighters and use their money. So when you buy a supplement, you click on the fighter's name, you buy purchase quantity, blah blah blah. After you purchase it, it goes to your possessions, and in your possessions, you have your clothes, so your tops, your shorts, and then your supplements. So when you buy your supplement, they will show up in this list. You can only use one supplement at a time. So as you see here, I got weight gain, I have recovery. The most important one is recovery, which is reduce energy loss. That's just the name of it. They call it recovery, but it's reduced. There's 4 supplements. Actually, that's probably wrong. There's reduce energy loss, which helps your fighter keep his energy up during the week of training. There is increased stamina, which increases how fast you increase your conditioning when you're doing cardio. There's weight gain. There's weight loss, which are explanatory. And there is muscle bulk, which is when you're lifting weights. It helps you increase your strength faster. So reduce energy loss is the most important if you're not doing cardio and you're not doing weightlifting. So that's that. And then I guess I'll go over clothes too. Clothes deals with your morale, which if you go to your fighter, your morale is right here. It's the green bar. And you can also see it here by hovering over the name, and your morale's, you want it obviously to be at 99 or 100%. To increase there's 2 ways to increase the morale of your fighter. Winning, but more importantly, well, that's important, but let's say your fighter loses and your morale goes down to 80-something%. Changing your clothes, so once again, the numbers, the stats are the same as your attributes or whatever. Clothes go from 0 to 150. But I like to change my clothes. I mean, when they get down to 130, it's time to change them, I guess. Once they get down to, I think, under 120, that's when you're like if you wear the same clothes too long, then your morale starts to go down. But if you change your clothes every day, if your morale will go up. So if your morale is low because you just lost, changing your clothes every day or every other day or every 3 days, whatever, will slowly increase your. So what you do to change your clothes is you just click on another one, take that old one and recycle it, throw it away like that, and then go down and hit submit. So that's how the possessions work. And then these up here is what my manager has, so I can give these to my fighters. And then the clothes, you can click on the clothes and see what they look like by just clicking them. So these are the clothes. Love that one. Stockton bitches. Okay. And that's that for gym and training. Just about. So till next time, Westside MMA out.